Breaking news. Y'all are cucks. More at 11.
Well, that's in the show. Rogers has it. Welcome, everybody, to another edition of the Tougies Take podcast, where Aaron Rodgers has actually been traded to the New York Jets.
Breaking news. Aaron Rodgers is traded to the New York Jets for fucking nothing.
So we got a viewer question about that, and I'm like, oh, Roger from Big Boy, Rodgers to the Jets, general thoughts and who wins the AFC East. And I'm like, are we still talking about this fucking trade that hasn't happened yet? And then it happened. Remember 2 months ago when he got traded and then didn't?
Yeah, basically.
Who wins the NFC East? I don't fucking care. The draft's this week, though. I'm always excited for a good draft.
Flashbang out.
Flashbang.
That's a deep cut for those of you who have watched me play Madden on Twitch.
I make the 5%er jokes here.
Yeah, God bless them. So the Jets get Rodgers, the Packers' 15th overall pick, and a 5th rounder for the 13th overall pick 42, and pick 207. Shout out to Maine. Yeah, that's fine. Sin, as a Packers fan, what do you think of the Jordan Love era?
I just hope they give him more help.
Here's to another 10 years of not drafting a wide receiver.
Yeah, and then we'll trade our best one, because, why not?
Yeah. Well, there you go. There's your football talk, everybody. And in the meantime, well, we are going to talk about some other random stuff, as we always do with the viewer questions, but we're back to talk about the hockey. The sweet, beautiful hockey that Sin and I cover for twitch.tv/sportsgamergg and sportsgamer.gg, because the virtual hockey season's back, baby. And I think we're both a little bit tired after the opening broadcast, but hey, we're going to get through this as well, because real hockey is at the forefront. The playoffs have been sick. Plenty of games this weekend, plenty of crazy games this weekend, and more games tonight that we'll get into. But before that, Endo, what's the weather like out there?
You see the weather back behind me right over here. Looking at the globe, and it has a ring around it, which is kind of weird. I guess it's to symbolize all that stuff. The globalists with the weather agenda.
It's all the good. Space junk and Teslas.
Space lasers from the future.
What the fuck is this?
And this is why we're primarily a visual podcast at this point. Oh my God.
The 100 people are going to see this and be like, what the fuck are they on? Things are going good over here. Yeah, things are going good. I've got to probably skedaddle later. I'm not sure if I'll be able to be here for the end of the podcast, but I got to skedaddle and go play hockey because that's how I make money. And season is ripe and starting, and it's happening.
Professional hockey player. Endo Mills, love to see it.
Semi-pro. Hopefully I become the e-bug.
Well, since Endo's professional and ripe, Sin, are you?
What? In ripe?
That's what Endo said. He said the hockey season's ripe. I'm a professional.
Breaking news, Endo's ripe. More at 12.
Sin, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good.
Yeah.
Good first broadcast of the season today. And that just means closer to the end of the season and being back in Finland. Although I might miss one of the semifinals broadcasts because my flight. We'll see.
I was going to say, if we do go over to Finland, when I think we might, we are missing the Stanley Cup Finals again.
Oh.
Shit.
Yep. We were in Finland last year when Colorado beat Tampa, and there's a good chance we're going to be back there again this year. So that'll be worth it. Let's be honest, 100% worth it. So yeah, let's get down to business today. As always, I want to mention that this podcast is brought to you by our lovely friends at manscaped.com, where you can go to said website and use the code Tougie, that's Tougie, for 20% off your order and free shipping. Our friends at Manscaped, of course, the peak, the pinnacle in men's grooming, head to toe. They got you covered. Manscaped.com. Get to some viewer questions, of course, posted on the Discord. Link is in the description, whether or not you were listening to this on your audio platform of choice or watching us on YouTube like you really should be. And our first question comes from RG Dust. What iconic... Oh, I'm going to read this as you wrote it. What's iconic character that was ruined to the point where you... R-H-U-I-N-E-D.
Yes, ruined, of course.
You put too much Cool Whip on the pie and you ruined it.
Ruined.
Smithers, you've ruined it.
So fucking stupid. Okay. What is iconic character that was ruined? That's gonna be the episode.
Ruined. Say ruins. Ruins. Now say ruined. Ruined.
Ruined.
Fucking crying.
I'm never gonna make on time for
Yeah,
that.
so
Let's read the rest of the question.
Yeah. What is an iconic character that was ruined to the point where you refer to them as a different name? For example, the TV show Master Chief, which I didn't know existed. I refer to him Master Cheeks because he's nothing but booty cheeks, and you see this, and you see his booty cheeks in the series. I think this is a question that you're like directing at yourself and wanting to know if you're not alone. I don't know of a character that has been ruined for me at this point. This is a lot of projection in this question here, RG Dust.
I think for mine is John Cena because of Santino, just John Cena. I love you, John Cena.
A TV character was ruined for me.
Well,
I
now it's
mean,
ruins.
like every Game of Thrones character ever was ruined.
That's a good point.
I'm trying to think. Damn it.
Why? Because they all died, or because they all just fucked each other?
No, because none of them died.
Well, a lot of them died, and then none of them died.
Yeah. Most Walking Dead characters. God, if anything, this just leads me to think of shows that went on for too damn long or didn't go on for long enough. What iconic TV character was?
Doesn't even have to be TV; just his character. Like he used a video game character that turned into a TV show.
That's fair. Iconic character. I don't know. Is there a good example?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Galadriel for me. Perfect in the books, perfect in the movies, fucked up in Ring of Power. Just did not have the aura and spirit of Galadriel. It didn't like that.
There you go. Hot take from Sid. Or not. Let him know. From Scroopy Noopers, good luck following that. Question for the podcast. Iserman to Konstantinov and Sakic to Bork are two of the greatest Stanley Cup handoff moments. What are some of your favorite Stanley Cup handoff moments? Well, given you said for me it's Niedermeyer to Rob. Niedermeyer, Scott to Rob. I feel like this is a question for me. Given, who we root for. I don't know. What about for you? What about for you two? Your favorite Stanley Cup handoff moments?
Johnny Bauer to whoever the fuck else is playing on the 67 team. Jesus Christ. George Armstrong. There you go.
Yeah.
Those are two different eras of player.
Yeah, it's tough when I didn't get to watch the Stanley Cup Finals last year, and then I got to reach back even further.
Yeah. Yeah, you do.
Then
and you don't have to go to like I do.
And then, yeah, fuck. You know what? It's not a Stanley Cup moment, but it's a Stanley Cup playoff moment, and I'm never ever gonna fucking forget it. Carlson picks it in the neutral zone. Pass. Here's Barclay Goodrow. He scores. Fuck. After the 4-goal 5-minute power play goes to overtime. Barclay fucking Goodrow wins it in overtime. Game 7 to advance the Sharks.
That was a contract year for him too. Yeah, that was a contract year for the guy too. So we got paid after that.
As deserved.
Rangers fans rue the day. Zdeno Chara to Mark Recchi. From Foresight Hogan. In honor of the Leafs Lightning's controversy from last night, in each of your respective opinions, which Stanley Cup playoff controversy tops them all? For example, mine is the Brett Hull kick-in against the Sabres in '99.
I'm gonna go
it has
with
to be Stanley Cup. God damn it! Well, no, it doesn't because playoff. There we go.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be the final.
Hand pass.
Yeah.
That's the funniest shit ever. I felt so bad after that. Like I was like, "Ugh, that's the worst way to win, dude." Like it is. Like that's such a blatant fucking hand pass.
I think I'm gonna go with, as the resident Canadian, I'm gonna go with the parallax effect, no goal, with the Lightning and the Calgary Flames, because it would have been the first time.
That was my choice.
Yeah, it would have been the first time a Canadian team would have won it since the fucking Habitant, and the Habs fans would be able to shut the fuck up about being the last Canadian team to win it. Like,
they
we
won't
get
shut
it.
the fuck up regardless. Let's be real.
Carey Price, we love him, and then we hated him,
If the
and then we sent him
Bruins
down to the
win the
minors, so
cup,
that's why he could. It's
like they're gonna have so much to say. They're still gonna be like, "Nah, they're not the greatest team."
Why do I sound like Luigi?
Luigi time. Could have been the episode title for a nice Mario Party reference. Not gonna happen though. Yeah. It's not my favorite, but it's the one that comes to mind is the 2004 Stanley Cup Final. And then from Jared, I wasn't gonna go for this one, but why not? Do you think the cases with the Leafs and Oilers are proof that the NHL is fixing games for U.S.-based teams?
No.
Just
What even
no.
happened in the Leafs game? Like, what are they referring to? I'm trying
Breaking news.
The bad penalties? Like, we all know there's going to be bad penalties. Was there a specific play? Because I didn't catch all of every game. What's the Leafs Lightning controversy now?
It's just like bad calls in general, but it's not
But that
even
happens
just the
in every
Leafs series.
series. It's not so. It's not like a review play or something. It's them just bitching and moaning about being penalized when they take
When
penalties.
they were,
This should have been a penalty. This wasn't a penalty.
Leafs should shut the fuck up because Oilers get screwed more than anyone else in these playoffs so far. Like, Dano 2-hand slashed McDavid and didn't get a call. And then there was another slashing call that was a tap that a stick happened to break during it. Like, it's playoffs. We all know the refs are going to be shit. But unless it's... And also the high stick with the Oilers.
yes.
Leafs fans, like, you do not have it that bad.
They keep talking about how, like, regular season was, they had the top 5 least penalties drawn or whatever. It's like, okay, cool, I understand that. And then they were like, oh, Wes McCauley's relations with someone else, and then this, and how they're intertwined, and all this super crypto hacky stuff. Like, you're sitting in the back of the room, just kind of I gotta figure this out. Trying to type it all together. It just makes no sense. It's just so annoying. And I don't know. I feel like it's just officiating across the board, not only in hockey, but every sport has had an issue with officiating. I think with the Leaf Lightning series, it's been weird because it's either they're too hands-on or they're not it's either letting them play or it's too hands-on. And I feel like that series is getting a little bit out of hand in that regard.
And
we'll talk about the Riley
that's a league-wide
point hit.
problem.
Yeah. We'll talk about the Riley point hit and all that briefly, but just it's not just one series, it's universal.
Yeah, that's a league-wide thing because they try to have this separate rule book for the playoffs, and then they're like, oh, wait, yeah, it's the game management needs to stop. Just call the rule book or don't.
There was a play, and we'll talk about the game in a minute. There was a play between LA and Edmonton last night where Kevin Fiala was called for a trip. Kings head coach Todd McClellan said this. Well, look, I can get up here and whine about officiating, but in all my years, I've learned that calls go your way and they don't go your way. It's really a waste of energy. If they call the tripping penalty, it's a tripping penalty. That is the appropriate attitude.
I love
There is no one team getting fucked more than another. There's no fucking stupid bias towards one team or another. It's just, as we have said on this show, I don't like talking about it. It sucks. for everybody. You benefit from it. You get fucked by it. It's the same for everybody, though. And all you can do is hope that in the moment, the call goes your favorite team's way.
Yeah, so which U.S.-based team are they rooting for when in the Florida Bruins series when Florida guys are hitting dudes like 2 to 3 seconds after they release the puck? Like, they're both U.S. teams. Like, it's just shit. It's shit reffing. It's always been shit. And it's just accentuated in the playoffs, and it's going to look bigger when it's big market team like the Leafs taking on a two-time champion and 3 straight appearance Lightning team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, that's it. That's all that can be said. Like, there's not this bias one way or another for one team or another. It's just the officiating is consistently shit, regular season and playoffs. That's just how it goes. Canada
needs to get good. It's been too long since you won a cup, and that's not the fucking league conspiring against you. Correlation does not equal causation.
Of all things,
your management and ownership groups fucking suck. Like, look at that.
Yeah.
So really quickly, go ahead, Edna.
I was gonna say, of all things, they'd want the Leafs to drag out the series and go 7 games because it gets more money going in. But
again, the idea of it's being fixed against Canadian teams. Toronto, one of the most valuable franchises in the entire sport. Yeah, they want them out in round 1. Why? Oh, because that way the Tampa Bay Lightning can benefit from more appearances, and people will be like, oh, Tampa exists, and we'll watch. Yeah, because Tampa needs the fucking exposure. As 3 straight finals appearance, 3 cups in the last 19 years. Yeah, they need the exposure. Like, come on now. Just no. It's the officiating sucks across the board. This we know. Before we get to talking about the playoffs, though, really quickly, the other news of the day was that Justin Braun announced his retirement after 842 career games played. Obviously, was a San Jose Shark for many, many, many years, and then a Flyer, unfortunately, for far too many years. He deserved better at the end of his career.
Yes, he did.
Sin. Justin Braun. Good memories.
Dude, great memories. In his prime, he and Vlasic were one of, if not the top shutdown pair in the NHL. Period. They weren't very physical, but that's not what makes a shutdown pair or a shutdown defenseman. Edmonton.
Yeah.
They were fan-fucking-tastic as a pairing together. And yeah, you saw that Jay Fresh card, dude.
Yeah, Jay Fresh, at Jay Fresh Hockey, of course. We'll go with friend of the show. Posted up one of Braun's best card, basically, or
it's from
one
the
of
cup
them
appearance here too.
2016 season, and yeah, his offense wasn't great, but his defense was pretty nifty. So, shout out to Justin Braun, very, very solid NHL career. With that, let's get into talking about the playoffs. Why the heck not? Let's start off as we do. Carolina and the New York Islanders, with the Hurricanes now having a 3-1 series lead. The Islanders did win Game 3 convincingly as well, 5-1. They scored 4 goals in 2 minutes and 18 seconds, the fastest that's ever happened. 2-point games for Cizikas, Mayfield, Palmieri, Pollock. Sorokin stopped 30 of 31. While Ranta stopped just 32 of 36. And right when you think, like, oh, cool, the Islanders are at home, they win Game 3 convincingly, Game 4, they should be good. No. Carolina, despite all of these friggin' injuries, man, they win 5-2, 3-point night for Sebastian Aho, 2-point night for Jarvis Nason, and Mackenzie McEachern. Fucking Carolina, just next man up. We're going to be fine. The depth that they find is insane. Ranta stopped 27 of 29. Sorokin 24 of 29 in that Game 4, and it's in.
Sorokin hasn't quite been the amazing goalie we thought he could have been here in the playoffs. Not really pulling the Shesterkin out of himself quite yet. That being said, Carolina's a great team. It's impressive where they found offense from. Burns, especially early in the season or early in the series, was so good at finding the open man. But they're in trouble.
Yeah, I'm looking at the series summary right now for the Hurricanes. Aho and Burns 5 points each, leading the way. The depth that they just continue to find. It's only a 915 save percentage for Ranta so far. Sorokin's only at a 910. He has flat out not been able to steal this series, which is what the Islanders needed. He's been solid, but he's not stealing the series. And I mean, leading goal scorer right now for the Islanders with 2 goals in 4 games, Kyle Palmieri. No goals, 1 point for Pajot. No points for Fashing, Engvall, Clutterbuck, Parise.
What's Barzal have?
Barzal, 1 goal in 4 games. That's it.
Oof.
Horvat, 1 goal in 4 games. That's it. Lee, 1 goal in 4 games. That's it.
Yeah, the big boys aren't stepping up, and that's never what you want to see.
Your goal is not stealing the series.
Yeah, even if Sorokin was posting a 920, they probably wouldn't be winning still because just lack of goal scoring.
Yep. I mean, again, you could argue like, the Bo Horvat trade, and yeah, he hasn't played well. I mean, they were good enough to get to the, to get to the playoffs and such. But yeah, now that they're here, even though Carolina's team isn't quite as strong or at full strength, yeah, Carolina. I won't be surprised if they win it in 5. I can't imagine this series going further than 6. I mean, that would really take a kind of collapse of their own from Carolina. The Islanders are just not... They're just not getting it done right now, is the only way to put it. And it's a little bit unfortunate, honestly. Like, it looked like the Islanders might have been able to kind of make something happen here, but yeah. So, GG's pretty much. I mean, certainly, yeah. I mean, do you bank on the Islanders winning 3 in a row? I don't know. I don't. So,
nope.
The Boston Bruins
love this series.
The Florida Panthers.
This is low key one of the chippiest fucking series. Like, that's happening. It's amazing.
Well, you talked about dirty. We'll be able to talk about that in a second now, won't we? The Bruins win game 3, 4-2. Hall, DeBrusk, Orlov, all with 2-point games. Allmark stopped 29 of 31. In the biggest moment of game 3, the goaltending change. Alex Lyon stopped 23 of 26, but was eventually pulled for Bobrovsky, who stopped 8 of 9. Bruins go on to play game 4 and win that one 6-2. 4-point game for Taylor Hall. 2 goals for DeBrusk. 2 points for Bertuzzi and Zacha. Allmark stops 41 of 43. For the Panthers, 2 points for Montour and Tkachuk. Bobrovsky starts this game, stops just 25 of 30.
I can't believe they went to Bobrovsky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm shocked because Lyon, what I thought when they yanked him in game 3, it's like, send a message to the boys. And it kind of worked. They got 2 later goals that Tougie texted me, oh shit, or well fuck, or something like that. Like,
yep.
Oh shit.
Yeah. It's I don't agree with them going to Bob there. And they fucking paid for it. Yeah. That being said, I wanted to chime in on this. I'm glad for Orlov and not Theodore.
Lindholm?
It's the other former Ducks defense. Yes, thank you. I don't know why I was saying. Yeah, Orlov and Lindholm have really started to shape up. Games 1 and 2, they did not look good as a pairing. Like, they were hemmed in their own zone a lot. Obviously, that horrific Orlov turnover, which may as well have been a pass for Tkachuk to score on. They looked shaky, but they've pulled it together. And the Bruins teams, yeah, they're a wagon and they're rolling.
So throughout game 4, it is worth noting David Krejci was out for game 4 for the Bruins. He's also going to miss game 5, in which Bergeron might be back. Aaron Ekblad missed game 4 for the Panthers. And this was the game where the chippiness kind of got out of hand. End of the first period, Matthew Tkachuk, he was fined $5,000 for this. Skates up to Garnet Hathaway, who's not even looking, cross-checks him right in the fucking back. Yeah. Dirty fucking play. This is the type of shit that if Brad Marchand did this, kick him out of the league. We're tired of this guy. At the same time, the other part of this, I believe it was the same play, that's not getting attention, is Hathaway goes down from that cross-check and there's a scrum, and Sam Bennett and if I'm not mistaken, I might be confusing this because it was a day ago, speared, like intentionally speared Hathaway in the groin while he was down. Even dirtier than what Tkachuk did. Mm-hmm. Even dirtier. McAvoy got some revenge on Tkachuk earlier. He fucking lit him up. Beautiful. Marchand ran over Mark Stahl. At the end of the game, Allmark tried to fight Matthew Tkachuk. Which led to some piss baby Blues fans being like, but when Binnington does that, he's called a fucking pansy. And it's like, there's a big difference between Allmark being tired of Tkachuk shit and Jordan Binnington swinging his stick at someone's head, Jordan Binnington skating over to the fucking opposing bench after allowing a fourth goal and shit talking. Huge difference. But go ahead and go full diaper if you want. The Bruins are in control of this series, to say the least.
Mentally, too, especially with all those shenanigans.
Exactly. Leading scorers for the Bruins right now, Taylor Hall, 7 points in 4 games. Insane. Mostly playing on the Bruins.
And that's without 3 spectacular passes not being converted on by other Bruins. 2 by Frederick.
Frederick.
Oh.
Tyler Bertuzzi, 6 points in the 4 games, 26 penalty minutes, by the way. Bertuzzi was the afterthought of the deadline. It's like, oh, yeah, cool, we got Tyler Bertuzzi, too. He has been insane. Insane. 5 points for DeBrusk and Orlov. Brad Marchand on 4 points. He's been amazing, especially defensively. Like, he was really struggling heading into the playoffs and has just figured it out. To have a 3-1 lead with, these struggles. Patrice Bergeron has not played. David Krejci only played the first 2 games at home. And Trent Frederick has no points in 4 games. They've been awesome. And then goaltending-wise, it's a 9-26 for Allmark, and Swayman came in at the end of the game because they're just like, all right, if people are going to be fucking dicks towards Allmark, let's put Swayman in for the last 3 minutes of Game 4. He made 1 save. On the other side, for the Panthers, 5 points for Matthew Tkachuk, 4 points for Brandon Montour, and then it starts to drop off. And the big name you're looking at, 2 points, no goals for Sasha Barkov.
Yeah, he hasn't really been a big factor.
No, that's a big problem for them. Certainly.
Yeah, he was winning draws, and he's starting to be a bit more physical and stuff, but he's just not doing much offensively.
And it was pretty clear, too, that Anthony Duclair was not healthy. 3 games, no points, and a -6. He sat in Game 4 for veteran Zach Dalpe. And then the goaltending. If you're looking at the Florida Panthers, I think the answer's kind of obvious here, but their goaltending is going to fucking sink them again. Bobrovsky, 2 appearances, an 846. Alex Lyon, the 3 appearances, a 902. They just continue to get sunk by $10 million worth of Sergei Bobrovsky.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't understand as a coach in the playoffs, you don't play the hot hand. Even for the Leafs, when Matt Murray comes back, when he's fully healthy to go, I don't think you give it to Matt Murray until Samsonov throws off, has a game thrown off. Yeah. It doesn't make any sense to throw another guy in there who's, I don't want to say unproven, but, who is on a slump, and you put him back into the cover-up Lion, and I know Lion had a bad game, but then for that guy to go in and cost you that much, I don't know there's going to be a buyout, but I think there's a really, really loose leash with Bobrovsky going forward.
Much like Carolina, Boston has this series. They just got to close it down. And again, anything can happen.
At home ice.
But that they do. Yeah, Game 5. Back in Boston. We'll see what happens. But again, I'm in a tough spot where I don't want to be like, yeah, it's over, because I know it's not over till it's over. But it's looking pretty good.
I just noticed something. I just looked at Bobrovsky's contract right now. So this is his last year of him being on a no-move clause. And then for the next few years after that, because he's got 3 more years left in his contract, his last 2 are no trade clauses, and it's like a list of teams. So if if they're gonna move on from Sergei Bobrovsky, they have to do it now, kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, they needed to do it before he was even signed.
Yeah.
Oh man. We'll move on. Minnesota and Minnesota and Minnesota and Dallas. The Wild win game 3, 5-1 on home ice. 3-point night for Ryan Hartman, 2 for John Klingberg. Gustafsson back in the crease. Why the hell was he ever taken out for Fleury? Stopped 23 of 24. Ottinger, 20 of 24. Nothing too crazy about this game. Fairly straightforward win. But much like that other series, Dallas fights back and wins game 4, 3-2. 3-point night for Rhuined. 32 of 34 for Ottinger. Another 2-point night for John Klingberg. He has been great next to Brock Faber. And Gustafsson stopping 21 of 24 for the Wild, so you can't really look at him. News for Dallas, Pavelski still out until at least game 6, but a 2-2 split. I don't really think that surprises anybody in this particular series. It's like, yeah, I mean, if you were to guess what series was going to be the closest, this might have been at the top of most people's lists.
Suter with the OT goal in game 7. Let's go. Book it.
Getting booed by Wild fans in Minnesota, by the way.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. So it's an interesting look. For the Stars, through the first 4 games played, Hintz, 8 points. He has been awesome. And then in second, with 5 points, Miro Heiskanen. So Finland leading the way for the Dallas Stars. In goal, surprisingly, Jake Ottinger just with a .909 save percentage. It's a little bit shaky. It's a little bit compared to the kind of legendary first round that he had last year, where he had a .954 in 7 games in the loss to Calgary. So
crazy.
I mean, I don't know if anyone could have expected him to do that again, but he's not close, which is probably the biggest issue.
You always want like a 915 to 920 in the playoffs from a goaltender.
Yeah.
And that's like that can take you far as long as your offense is scoring. If you have like a 915 to a 920 from your goaltender, you have the capability of going all the way.
For the Wild, worth noting 5 points apiece for Zuccarello and Hartman. Klingberg has those 4 points in 2 games as well. Philip Gustafsson and Marc-Andre Fleury combined for a .902 save percentage. Marc-Andre Fleury's save percentage is a .774. Gustafsson's is a .941.
Oh, boy.
They didn't go back for Fleury, right, in that game 4, did they?
Nope. Thank God. They did also call up Jesper Wallstedt today, but presumably because the Iowa Wild's AHL season came to a close. They probably just want to get him practices with the big club. But yeah, Marc-Andre Fleury probably shouldn't be seeing the crease again in that series. But that's a toss-up. I'm excited for that series. Home crowd Minnesota brought it too, which is always great.
Yeah. One thing, though, about Ottinger, maybe, and, with Sorokin as well, like, Ottinger played 48 games last season with 10 in the A, and this year we played 62, and Sorokin played basically 60 games as well. Do you think it may be just goalies are just getting exhausted? I think that might be just the thing. Like, goalies are getting overworked and overtired with the style of play that's, it's only getting faster, and it may just be an exhaustion thing. I mean, fucking.
He's also younger and he hasn't done that yet, right?
Yeah,
he hasn't had a full big season as a starter, so I think that's a good point that Endo brings up.
Yeah, that's the one thing that really concerns me too, is because that happened with UC Saros. The one thing I definitely want to always mention when I talk about goalies with games played, if UC Saros played one less of a game, there was a likelihood he would not have gotten injured, or he would have had more time to rehab and to get ready for the playoffs, and Nashville could have had at least a decent run. I mean, throwing in Ingram, who basically was like thrown to the wolves and stood on his head, respectively. It makes you really think about if the conditioning for goalies are having one guy play 2/3 of the season. It just really kind of I don't want to say it boggles my mind, but it just really makes me think about conditioning and worrying about, longevity and stuff like that. Because you have Robin Leonard, as well, who's still out. Completely forget about him, and other goalies like that who just go down early. And yeah,
Edmonton and Los Angeles.
oh boy,
now tied at 2 games apiece. LA wins game number 3, 3-2 in overtime. 38 of 40 stopped for playoff Korpisalo. For the Oilers, 2 points for McDavid and Bouchard each. But the big question was on the winning goal, did the puck hit the stick, leading to the OT winner for Trevor Moore?
Yeah, it did.
It did, but it's too close to call, so they called the bat. They didn't do anything on there.
I mean, it's too close to call if you're looking at like a visual of the puck actually making contact with the stick, but like it totally changed the spin and trajectory. So like, yeah, it hit the stick. But yeah, it's again NHL refs.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, okay, I didn't mention this for the Bruins-Panthers, but Brad Marchand scored a goal in Game 4, and it was one that was looked at where it's like, well, did the ref blow the whistle? And it was close, as the puck, was tapped in. There's also the fucking old rule of like, well, the ref didn't blow the whistle, but he was intending to, so we're still not going to count it.
That's the thing. I think that's been thrown out the window.
It has. Thank fuck.
Because no, because the whistle actually blew in a game. Was it the Leafs game?
Leaf Tampa game. So
yeah, the whistle actually blew, and then they scored, and then they're like, okay, no, it's a goal because the puck was loose, even though we blew the whistle. There's no end of play yet, which is weird.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Ruling is if the ref loses sight of the puck, you have to freeze the game stops completely. So even if after, like, if the ref loses sight of it and it's in the net, but you can't tell, no goal because the whistle went.
Well, yeah, I know that,
yeah.
But so they blew the whistle, then the puck was knocked in, then they ruled it a goal. But wouldn't the play be dead because the ref blew the whistle?
And it would be dead, but again, it would be dead in the Leaf situation because it was whistle dead, and then he poked it and they thought it was a goal, and they called it back.
Oh,
all of this
a different one
proves my point.
Right?
All of this proves my point. No shit, they didn't get the Gabe Velarde call right. No shit. Like, there's already this much debate about, like, oh, was the puck fully in that Leafs game when it was just crossing the line, left side of the corner, goalie cam? Did they get it right with the Velarde? Did they look at this replay angle, that replay? Did
they put a net, like a camera inside the crossbar, which they have now, and, the angle and the parallax effect and the bottom of the blue sea, like it drives you insane just thinking about that.
The referees blow calls consistently. The replay room blows calls consistently, and they're set up to blow calls consistently because of a lot of ways the rules are written. It's all a big mess.
Yeah.
Did the Oilers get hosed in game number 3, though? No. Should the overtime winner have been the overtime winner? Probably not. You had a 2-1 lead. That was the 3rd straight game of the series where they blew a lead. Don't fucking blow a lead. Calls are going to be fucking weird. The Oilers did not get hosed. Give us a second here. And do what you have to do. I'll just leave it at that.
Just don't turn your stuff off, I guess, because that'll screw
Okay, hold on. Let me do that. Okay, there we go. Breaking news. I'm heading out. I'm going to go play hockey and make money. Sincerely, Sid, Tougie, back to you. Leafs got jobbed in the game, but then they won it back. That's how you steal games. That's what a championship team is like, and we finally have it. Okay, bye. See you guys.
Game number 4.
They're going to lose now, aren't they?
Yeah. Edmonton wins game 4, 5-4 in overtime. 3-point night for Bouchard, McDavid, Draisaitl. We'll talk about Leon in a second. But the Oilers were down 3-0 at the end of the first period. Stuart Skinner stopping just 8 of 11. Jack Campbell steps in, stops 27 of 28.
Game 5 Campbell?
Game 5 Campbell has to be a thing. We'll talk more about that in a second, too. For the Kings in this game, Arvidsson Dano and Kevin Fiala, who was back in the series, each had 2 points. Controversial officiating, because, of course, again, I don't want to fucking talk about it. Was the cross-check, was it weak? Or this, the fucking Fiala trip, blah, blah. Bottom line is, LA Kings had a 3-0 lead, and they fucking blew it.
Yeah.
Don't blow a lead. Oh, but we got put in a situation where we're more likely to blow the lead. Don't blow the fucking lead.
Yeah, don't allow 4 goals in 4 minutes. Don't blow a 3-0 lead.
Yeah.
Rivals of Sharks need to learn.
But Will Ferrell was there, and he's angry. Oh, Jesus.
I mean, if they want to get into controversial trips, just look at the thing on Nurse and fucking Arvidsson, who did a pirouette, nearly a flip to draw a call, and it wasn't even a. It doesn't matter. This again, it's shit for everyone. Shut up.
Yep. Again, there's no. There's the agenda. They all got an agenda. It's like, no, they don't. It's shit across the board. Control what you can control.
Yeah, and I will say, everyone likes to call the Edmonton Oilers power play merchants, which is, I guess, understandable at times, but they actually have the best XGF percentage numbers in 5-on-5 play so far, at least through 3 games. They had the best 5-on-5 numbers for expected goals. So
yeah. It really is just one of those things where it's like, I said when they were down 3-0, I'm like, Jesus, can we get Connor McDavid onto a real team? The Edmonton Oilers should not be in a situation where they go down 3-0 to the LA Kings. They should not be in a situation where people are like, yeah, but Korpisalo is shutting them down. If you're getting shut down by Jonas Korpisalo, that's your fault. I get it. The guy has had a tendency to be clutch in his career in the playoffs, but Jesus, is that really the excuse if the Oilers were to lose this series? Well, the refs and we got Korpisalo'd. That's not good enough when you have the 2 best players in the goddamn world on the same team. Leon Draisaitl has 9 points in 4 games. Bouchard with 7, McDavid with 6. The next highest is Kane and Hyman, Nuge as well with 3. And then you get into 1 point for Ryan, for Costin, for Janmark, for Nurse. 1 point for Darnell Nurse. Ekholm. No points for Bjugstad, Fogle, Kulak, McLeod, Desharnais, CC, Broberg, or Yamamoto. They have no fucking depth still.
Poor Yamamoto. He's a game. It sucks he has no points because he's in that game 3 especially, man. He was on fire, creating chances and shooting the puck, and he was just everywhere. It's unfortunate he doesn't have a point, but yeah, you got to put it in at some point.
Goaltenders. 881 for Skinner in 4 appearances, a 964 for Jack Campbell after game 4. Jack Campbell gets the net in game 5.
Has to.
Easily.
Yeah.
Not a debate. For the Kings, though, wanted to mention their top guys. Kopitar, 6 points in 4 games. Guy's ageless. Kempe and Arvidsson with 5 each, and then Philip Dano with 4. He's had a pretty good series, to say the least.
And because they have Dano on McDavid most of the time, Kopitar gets to focus on offense a bit more.
Yes.
Woo! Scary.
That it is. Korpisalo, 918 save percentage in 4 games. Like, yes, he has been good. It should not be, well, our excuse as Oilers fans if the team loses is we got goalied.
You can't get, that's not an excuse when you have McDavid Draisaitl. Like you said, again, McDavid scored from the same spot on 2 different power plays, picking each corner. Like, he's gonna carry your ass. Imagine if they just had depth scoring and defense. Fuck. You don't even need depth scoring. Just get defense.
Yeah. It is worth noting Korpisalo, 13 career playoff games, does have a 933, but it's 13 games. It's not the biggest sample size in the world. Yeah. And you're the Edmonton Oilers with the 2 best players in the world. Please win this series. As much as I'd love to see the Kings win it because it would be hilarious, I also want to see Connor McDavid in more meaningful games than just round 1.
Yeah, I mean, didn't they make the conference finals last year?
I don't know if it was last year, but
when the fuck was that?
Oilers seasons. My point is, I want to see Connor McDavid for as long as possible.
Yes, and in cups.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. They did. Okay, so that's why I don't remember them in the conference finals last year. They got swept by Colorado. They beat the Kings in 7, beat the Flames in 5, and then played a real team and got the shit kicked out of them.
Yeah, I remember that.
So there's that. Then we have the other 4 series that'll head into tonight's games as well. So these will be starting right about the time we're done with the show, which will be nice. Vegas and Winnipeg. The Golden Knights have a 2-1 series lead after winning game 3, 5-4 in double overtime. The Knights were up 4-1. The Jets tied it with 22 seconds left and then lost anyway on a Michael Amadio overtime winner.
You can't have it happen like that. You got to win those games, dude. Like when you have that kind of comeback, you got to win those games.
It was a rough break for Dylan Sandberg, too. He tried to go a little bit kind of up the ice instead of using the wall, and it took a weird deflection off the skate, and Amadio fucking ripped it. It was a beautiful shot. For Vegas, 3-point night for Jack Eichel. Scored his first ever playoff goal, I believe. Brossois only stopped, 30 of 34, but for the Jets, 43 of 48 for Hellebuck. I mean, they got outplayed and almost stole one. 3 points for Neil Pionk, 2 for Kyle Connor. And the word is now that Josh Morrissey is out for the rest of round 1, which is a gigantic loss for the Jets. I am siding with Vegas to win this series because I really feel like that is a game, especially at home, that you need to win, and they kind of sort of blew it.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. I still want them to win for obvious reasons.
Oh, yeah, me too.
Yeah, Vegas is built for it, unfortunately. And Brossois is playing better than expected.
Yeah, so in the playoffs so far, Brossois, you say better than expected. Any guess of his save percentage?
925?
897.
What?
Yep.
Oh, yeah, they had those games where it just didn't shoot much.
Yeah.
Oh, hold on. What the fuck? Okay, that's just a series I haven't paid any attention to, but looking at final scores, I thought it'd be a bit better.
Yeah, 897 for Brossois. I don't know what Thompson's health is. I don't know if you turn it. I mean, I think if they lose that game, you probably say, well, Aiden Hill, Jonathan Quick if they're available, but they likely stick with them. 4 points for Eichel, Stone, Stevenson, Pietrangelo each. So they are getting the depth scoring. For the Jets, Neil Pionk's their leading scorer, 5 points in 3 games. Lowry's up there as well. Just 1 point for Mark Scheifele in the 3 games so far. You are playing your way out of Winnipeg, sir, and in record time. Goaltending in that series, though, in general has been bad. Connor Hellebuck only has an 894. So, again, kind of similar to the Islanders run, where it's like, okay, you got some key players who aren't quite putting up the points that they need to, and your goalie who could steal the series that everyone was looking to see if they'd steal the series has not been stealing the series. Odds are Vegas moves on. Toronto and Tampa with a 2-1 Maple Leafs series lead, winning game 3, 4-3 in overtime. Big game for Ryan O'Reilly. He had 3 points, tied the game with a minute left. Morgan Riley wins it in overtime. 36 of 39 stop for Ilya Samsonov. Brandon Hagel with 2 points for Tampa. Just 23 of 27 stop for Vasilevsky. The highlight of this was the chippiness. There was the incident with Braden Point where it's like, hey, it's a penalty. It's not a penalty, but he is expected to play in game 4. You had Stamkos and Matthews' alleged fight that wasn't really a fight. Kyle Dubas yelling at people in the stands was more of a fight than the Stamkos-Matthews incident. You have Sheldon Keefe saying that Stamkos grabbing Matthews was a, quote, classic example of Tampa trying to manipulate the officials. So not quite taking the Todd McClellan approach to making comments about officiating. This series is a beautiful shit show, and I've loved every second of it.
Yeah, but Sheldon Keefe just showed that he's rattled.
Yeah.
Like he showed with coaching in game 1. Fucking sending the 4th and 3rd lines out there is the first.
Yeah.
They're in a good situation at least. Thank God they got O'Reilly, because not only did he get that tying goal with less than a minute left, he assisted on the Riley game winner.
Right. For the Leafs, 8 points in 3 games for Mitch Marner. He's been astounding. O'Reilly, Morgan Riley, Austin Matthews, all with 5 points. John Tavares and Nylander with 4. Not really missing the scoring from anyone that they would be disappointed to miss it from. Their issue, Joseph Wall, limited appearance. He had an 800 save percentage, allowed one goal on 5 shots, so stopped 4 out of 5. Ilya Samsonov, 878 save percentage through the first 3 games.
Ugh. Yeah, it's those blowout games. It's been an interesting start to the series.
Yes, because for the Lightning, Andrei Vasilevsky, and 853.
Yeah.
The goaltenders you look at to steal people's series that have just not been able to do that so far at all. Kind of wild. Leading scorer right now for the Lightning, by the way, with 5 points in 3 games, Corey Perry, who just won't fucking go away.
Retire!
Kucherov with 4, some other good scoring. No points for Nick Paul through the 3 games as well. And of course, Victor Hedman missed a game in this series, but another wildly entertaining series. People will be like, the refs and as a neutral, I just get to enjoy the hell out of this.
I love watching NHL playoffs as a neutral fan.
Mhm.
Like, it is some of the best thing ever. Now, I do kind of cheer for the Bruins now. Like, they're the only team I'm like actively sort of cheering for because I really want history to be made.
Hell yeah, brother.
Yeah, I don't feel as disheartened when they get scored on as I did when like Sharks. I don't know. It's it's a different feeling.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you can root for them, but you're not living and dying by them.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah. The Devils and Rangers. The Devils are not entirely dead yet. They are down 2-1, but they take game 3 2-1 in overtime off of a Dougie Hamilton winner. He and Jesper Bratt both had 2 points, and we talked about it. Who do they go with in goal? And they went with Akira Schmid. 35 of 36 stopped for the Swissman.
High risk, high reward, and that's a big fucking reward.
They put you in your debut playoff game at Madison Square Garden when you're down 2-0 in the series, and you stop 35 of 36.
The Swiss, yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Good for him, dude.
I mean, the balls, the stones on that man. Like,
and the Devils, can you score some fucking goals? Like, you got lucky. You got saved. They have 1 goal per game.
Games. 4 goals in 3 games.
That's awful.
Yep.
That's horrible.
Rangers have 12.
Now I can't wait to hear Shesterkin's save percentage. I just know it's going to be absurd.
Yeah, so for the Devils, 2 points for Hughes, Hamilton, and Bratt in the series so far. Vanacek had an 827 save percentage, and then obviously Schmid with a 972 in that first game. So he is clearly their guy in game 4. Dude, this guy too. I mean, Akira Schmid, like, he's 22 years old.
Wait, you said Vanacek still had a 927?
927.
Jesus Christ. It's like he doesn't even deserve to be yanked. It's just that they can't score.
Yeah. Yeah. So with Schmid, I mean, 22 years old, turns 23 next month. 5th round pick in 2018. And he posted a 922 in 18 appearances this year, and then that 972 game in game number 3.
See, guys, EA Sports NHL is realistic. A medium elite in the 5th round. A medium elite goaltender.
For the Rangers, Fox 6 points, Kreider, Patrick Kane each with 5. Lexi Lafreniere, Vincent Trocheck, no points so far through 3 games.
Yeah, see.
Igor Shesterkin. Any guesses on his save percentage?
All right, let's see. 3 games played.
5-1, 5-1, 2-1.
Yeah. I'm going to say he has a 963.
Yeah, you were on the right track. 949.
Ow. I was going to say 950 something, but yeah.
Which for this postseason is astonishing.
Yeah.
Off of what we've seen. So, Devils have a shot, but yeah, Rangers go up 3-1 tonight. If that happens, it's over. Like, you're not winning 3 straight against the Rangers at that point, especially when you know that you don't have a home ice advantage whatsoever. So,
yeah,
not looking great. The final series to get caught up on: Colorado up 2-1 on Seattle after winning game 3 by the score of 6-4. 3-point night for Mikko Rantanen, 25 of 29 for Georgiev, whereas for Seattle, 2 points for Schultz and Schwartz. Grubauer stopping 28 of 33. Again, for the Kraken, you won game 1. You had the lead in game 2 and blew it. And that might have just been enough for the Avs to kind of get that momentum. Nathan McKinnon in Game 3 scored a fuck you goal. Is the best way to describe it, where he just willed it to happen.
Oh, dude, he does that so much. Like, he just...
Yeah.
Remember, I think it was last playoffs when he just went fucking coast to coast to tie the game. Then they still blew it.
Yep. There's a theme. But I give Seattle credit. I'm happy they're not going to get swept. I will not be surprised if the Avs win tonight and then win it in 5.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Home atmosphere for the Kraken, though, was fucking awesome for Game 3. I don't know if you saw any of like the intro or anything like that, or like the goal highlights, but at least when they were in it, it was sweet. So I give Kraken fans a lot of credit. In this series so far, 4 points for Rantanen, Taves, and Lehkonen leading the way for the Avs. I mean, quite a few guys who haven't scored yet, but no one that they're desperate to rely on for scoring. Georgiev with an 898, which, And then for the Kraken, Justin Schultz, 4 points in 3 games, is their leading scorer right now. Grubauer with a 917 save percentage. I know it's 3 and 4 games. These playoffs have been wonky so far in terms of like, oh, who's up there for goalie save percentages, so on and so forth. Yeah. It's been fun, but wonky is the best word for it. If I'm not mistaken, I can look at goalie save percentage. Maybe I can't, but yeah, it's been fun. And with that, we will wind things down because I want to go watch the start of these games. And yeah, Sin's probably tired of my face after that Sports Gamer cast and then this one.
Yeah, no, I'm excited to watch some playoffs.
Sweet, beautiful playoffs. Everybody, we will see you all later on this week. Sin, will at least one playoff series be done by the time we record next?
I gotta check the schedule.
So technically, we record on Thursday. Leafs game 5. Well, there's a bunch of game 5s. Actually, I don't think any... Oh, that's right. There are some skips because of travel. So actually, no series will be done.
Oh, I was going to say, like...
Thursday.
If the Devils and the Rangers are playing tonight, they win. Then 2 days later, the Rangers win again. It can be over. That's the one I would say is going to be over. I don't think the Devils have it.
Yeah, Lightning, Leafs, Devils, Rangers, Jets, Golden Knights play on Thursday. Well, yeah, actually Wednesday. Bruins,
Canes and Islanders.
Yep, Canes, Islanders, and Bruins, Panthers could be done. Do you think either one of them will be in 5 games?
Hard to say with Carolina and Islanders. Hard to say with both. But I think Boston has the number of Florida, and I think they're going to win it at home. If they don't, fucking stop. Like, didn't you learn from 2019?
Yeah.
I just had to depress Tougie one more time, I got.
Yeah. You want to mention 2015?
2015, bingo at home. We haven't mentioned the Finland trip. I did at the beginning. Never mind.
No, we did. We mentioned the Avs winning the cup when we were there. It's a guarantee. We will see you later on this week, everybody. Thank you, as always, for supporting the show. We appreciate you. And go Bruins. The last word goes to Endo Mills.
Bruins!